Good morning, everyone. Students, today we are taking this topic, nature of goodwill. You are well known that goodwill is your intangible assets, right? And Accounting Standard 26 is covering goodwill. We have two kind of goodwill. One is self-generated goodwill and another one is purchased goodwill. So you have to understand what is self-generated goodwill. When initially the business has started and that time it's not having any reputation in the market and nobody knows your business. But with the passes of time, as you are providing your services in the market to the customer and your customers, they started liking you. So you have generated goodwill, right? You have a good name, fame, reputation. So this is called self-generated goodwill. And it is not shown in the books of account. And another one is your purchase goodwill. Purchase goodwill is that one when you purchase running business of somebody. So this is attached to that, right? Why do you purchase somebody's business? Because the business is having a nice reputation in the market and it's giving good return. So you have purchased that business. So goodwill is attached with that. And this kind of goodwill is shown in your books of account and there'll be accounting treatment of this, right? So we have two kind of goodwill. One is self-generated goodwill and another one is purchase goodwill. Purchase goodwill is shown in the books of account and self-generated goodwill is not shown, right? Next topic is your need for valuing goodwill. Why there is a requirement to calculate the goodwill, and it is required at the different places. Okay, so let's see at what place it is required. The first one is when there is a change in profit sharing ratio. This we have studied in the classroom. When the ratios are changing, suppose earlier you have the ratio equal between three partners, 1:1:1. Now this has changed to 5:3:2, right? So somebody will be sacrificing and somebody will be gaining. So gaining partner has to pay compensation to the sacrificing partner, and this is will be measured in terms of goodwill. So there is a requirement to calculate. Next one is when a new partner is admitted in the firm. So there is a requirement to calculate the goodwill because new partner has to compensate to the old ones. Old ones means sacrificing partner who has given the share. Next place to calculate the goodwill is at the time of retirement and death of a partner. Okay, so here also this is the this place is there where we require to calculate the goodwill. Next one, when partnership firm is sold as a going concern, means you are selling your firm to somebody. So you have to determine a price, at what price you will sell, and this price will be determined on the basis of your value in the market. That means goodwill, right? Next one, when two or more firms amalgamate. Amalgamate means these are merging. When two or more firms are amalgamating means merging, you are just making one firm. So there is a requirement to calculate the goodwill. And if you are converting your partnership firm into company or any other form of business organization, so there is a requirement to calculate the goodwill. All right, students, so these were the places where there is a requirement to calculate goodwill. Well, our next topic is factors affecting the value of goodwill. Means these are the factors which affect the value of goodwill of a firm. Because of these factors, your goodwill increases, either it increases or decreases. Okay, now first one is efficient management. And this is very clear. If your management is good, means any firm is having efficient management, so its goodwill will be more. This will be recognized in the market. Everyone praises your firm. And if your management is poor, so nobody likes that. So vice versa. Fine. Now next one, favorable location. If your business is situated at a favorable location, means where it's easy for the customer to reach, so that is liked by everyone, its goodwill will be more. And if your location is not favorable, most of the people, they have hesitation to go and it's not convenient for them to go. So that's not having goodwill. Third point is your favorable contract. Sometimes a firm has long term of contracts with the purchaser and seller. And of course, these are the good firms. So if you have favorable contracts with your parties, so that increases your goodwill. Next one is longer establishment of a business. If your business has been established for a long time of the period, so definitely you'll have the good number of customers, valuable customers are there, so that increases your goodwill, and vice versa. Next one, advantage of patents. Patents are necessary for the manufacture and production. If you possess the necessary patents for your product, so that increases goodwill of your firm, of your product. And if you don't get it patented, so you won't have the reputation in the market. Next one is access to supplies. This tells when a firm has good arrangements for getting regular supplies, so that is very good for the firm, and that helps to increase your goodwill. And when you break the supply and you don't provide the goods to your customers right in time, so that disturbs your goodwill, that decreases your goodwill in the market. All right. Next one is quality. It's very, very clear. If you are providing good quality to your customers, your reputation increases and your goodwill increases in the market. If you don't provide good quality, inferior quality you are providing, or you are ditching your customers sometime, so your goodwill reduces. Well, next is your market situation. Sometimes market situation also helps you to decide the goodwill of your firm. And sometimes the situation comes where the demand is more and supply is less. You must have studied in economics also, where the demand is more and supply is less. So that's very, very favorable situation for you. And you can earn more profits even after investing less capital. Okay. So this increases your goodwill in the market. Next one, risk associated with business. Students, certain businesses are there where risk is attached to them and higher risk is there. So wherever there is a higher risk in the business, that decreases the value of goodwill, and contrary, if risk is less in the business, so that increases your value of the goodwill of the firm. Okay. Next one is your nature of business. Products dealt in are higher demand, although short in supply. This we have already discussed in the market situation, where your demand is more, your product's demand is more and supply is normal or less than the demand. So you can increase the prices also, and goodwill increases. If you are dealing in that product, so your firm's goodwill increases. Now, past performance. Past performance is also one of the point which helps you to acquire goodwill in the market. If you have performed nicely, your past experiences are very good with the customers, and customers, they have very nice experience with the firm, and you have provided better quality, better services at the reasonable prices. So these all things are covered under the past performance. So your goodwill increases. And if your past performances are not good, then your goodwill decreases. Well, certain other factors are also there which helps to determine the goodwill of a firm. Like if you are providing after sale services, your goodwill will be nice. If you don't provide, that reduces. And good customer relationships are there, good labor relations are there. If you're following all that, right, you have very good relations with your customers, laborers, and paying right in time, and after sale services you are providing. So all these factors and so many other factors are there which helps you to enhance the goodwill of your firm. Thank you, students.